What's going on, everyone? Alex here, sitting by the river, thinking about something intelligent to share with you guys that would be valuable. And I was thinking of various topic ideas, and a couple came to mind, and I thought to myself, oh, that's just been done to death, that particular piece of advice. And I have, if you look over my past videos and my articles and things like that, you'll see that there'll be lots of overlap and lots of repetition. And I thought I'd speak to that. I think that'd be interesting for people who are creating content and maybe in the game of writing and have created a commitment for themselves to step up and create regularly in order to reap the benefits of creating consistently and building an audience and creating attention for your products and services and that kind of stuff. But the challenge can be around, what can I write about, what can I talk about, and is it okay to repeat myself, and where does that fall into the stuff that we do? I think we underestimate the value and the contribution of allowing ourselves to repeat ourselves and to repurpose and to say the same thing in a slightly from a different angle, perhaps, tweaking an idea and delivering it in a different way, maybe through a different lens, or even just straight up repeating something that you might have talked about a year ago, and you may have matured over time, and you may come to that idea from a different perspective, and it's very difficult to all out repeat yourself, especially if you've given yourself a bit of time to think about it and to go out into the ether and come back with different experiences that you can then share, whether it be through a video or an article, whatever. So I just wanted to kind of, as a central idea to this video, is just to encourage you guys to not be scared about repeating yourselves and repeating and overlapping and allowing ideas that you've already shared once before to come again. You're not going to annoy your audience as much as you think you might. You might annoy a couple of people who are particularly judgmental that day about what they need to be seeing in their timeline, but generally people, in the chaos of it all, in the noise that they're coming across every day through social media and so on, it's not even noticed. Repeating yourself, coming up with similar ideas, overlap, repurposing, recycling, all of that stuff is underused, underutilized, and we can burn ourselves out thinking and putting pressure on ourselves that we need to come up with something original, something fresh every time. And I have given myself a lot of stress over the years, worrying that, I've already shared this idea, I've already talked about this, and that can create stress, and that can hold me back, that can create resistance and stop me from doing and sharing what needs to be said. And a lot of people are out there waiting for you to give them that knowledge, and it doesn't matter that you've said it once before, because a lot of people need reminding. This is the nature of learning, this is the nature of muscle memory. If it's a good idea, it needs repeating anyway. So there's that. I also wanted to just bring in this idea, which I was speaking about with a client yesterday, which is really interesting. It's kind of the other side to this, which also needs to be considered, which is that we can burn ourselves out by continually saying the same thing. If you're energized by saying something that you've already said, fantastic. And if it serves, then that's great. And you always want to be asking yourself the question, is this serving my audience? And if I'm repeating a few things and it is going to serve, fantastic. But at the same time, you want to make sure that you're being served yourself as a creator, and you're not boring yourself to tears by always regurgitating the same information in exactly the same way. You want to weave in some discovery in the process. When I say discovery, I mean you're not going to be energized in the long term if you're not continually learning things and you're not continually testing ideas from different perspectives and challenging your own theories and your own concepts and writing through those things and speaking through those things. Apologies for the sirens. So you want to make sure that there's a bit of a balance going on between being okay with repeating yourself and maximizing the ideas that you've got in there and really just squeezing all the juice out of what you know and what you can help people with. That's fine. You want to be willing to repeat yourself, especially if it serves your audience. But at the same time, you want to make sure that there's an element of discovery and learning and being open to new ways of seeing things as you go too, because that's what's going to weave in an element of fun and enjoyment through your own process. Because there's going to be a point where you get tired of repeating the same things over and over again, although we underestimate how much of that we can do and still be happy doing it. So what I mean by weaving in a process of discovery, make sure that you're balancing repeating yourself with continually exploring new ideas, exploring new avenues that various topics might open up. One topic might lead to another topic that you might not have thought about. You might bring two ideas together into a kind of hybrid mix and match idea that you might not have considered. So you're using old ideas perhaps, but you're bringing them together in creative ways, which is going to keep you interested because you're constantly learning new things as you go along. So it's about sort of that balance when it comes to ideation and creating new things to talk about as a creative, as a writer, as a content creator, as a brand. It's okay to repeat, and there's so much value that you can dig up that you've already shared that you can repeat. There's I'm sure there's tons of stuff on your computer, for example, that's just sitting there. Old articles you've written, old drafts that you never shared that you might want to go back into and reuse. Ideas that you've already shared that you yourself personally might think, that they must be dead now. No one wants to hear from that on those topics again. Well, that's because you've already shared those things and you might have given those things some thought, but there's still so many people out there who would benefit from you stepping up and repeating what you've already shared, maybe through a slightly different lens, or give it a little bit of an added bit of value that you might not have considered from before. So I think the nutshell in all this is, and the big point that I want to share is, be willing to repeat yourself, be willing to say what's already been said, and have fun with that. And don't worry that people don't want to see it, because you got to think abundantly in this sense. There's so many people out there, and people are busy, people are distracted. Most people won't even notice the fact that you've shared something that you've already shared before, especially if it's done in a slightly different way. So there's so much to use and to utilize, and there's so many ways that you can generate new ideas. And at the same time, don't forget, you want to make sure that you've got this process of discovery going on for yourself, so that you're continually entertained and you're never going to be burned out that way. Even if you work really hard, if you're continually learning, continually open to new ideas and new creative hybrids, you're never going to run out of ideas or excitement or energy. Hope that helped, guys. If you've got any other suggestions for further videos, share them down below. Always keen to hear your thoughts and suggestions below. And make sure you subscribe wherever you're watching this, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.